Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the mop here on a Monday morning after everybody has had their fill from Thanksgiving. I hope you all had a great Thanksgiving. I hope you have a great time with family and friends. And over the last day, we had to move a lot of snow here in southwest Wisconsin, and it was wet underneath yesterday. But we got it all moved at our house, and driveway is all clear, so we're good to go. Looking forward, moving into Christmas. And as we move closer and closer, it just means we're getting closer to warmer weather again. It's the only way I can look at it. Because this hand hurts now forward until it gets warm. But it is what it is. Welcome to the mop. Do I need to have to ask? So there is now a lot of talk about the U.S. blowing up these boats. And there was the one where there were people clinging to the raft, and then they shot it again to kill the survivors. Now, if you are saying, well, that's not a problem, Chris, you are part of the problem. I'm going to put it out plain and simple. If you don't have a problem with that, you're part of the problem. And I'm going to put it plain and simple. And you can talk to me at any point about that. I'm fine with that. But there are some major laws being broken. There are some major rules that need to be followed that this administration feels that they don't need to. They are justifying killing people. And in order to do what they did, they needed to prove an imminent danger to the United States. Two people clinging to a raft is not imminent danger. We have huge ships to handle things like this. We have many ways to handle people that are hanging onto a raft instead of blowing them up and killing them. Because doing that, in my mind, is murder. And I wonder what kind of uproar this country would be in if it happened to us. If another country did that to people from our country, they blew up a boat and then two Americans were clinging to the side of it and they blew it up again to kill them, wonder what our response would be. What would people in general be? Oh, how dare you do? Well, we're coming after you. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. I guarantee that would be the case. That there would be some form of retaliation on the U.S.'s part for doing something to our citizens. We have been doing this to boats with no real proof, no proof whatsoever, that they're drug-carrying boats or smuggling boats. And quite honestly, we aren't just following them to see where they go. We're just blowing them up in the middle of the ocean. Some of this has to be held accountable. Someone has to be. Now, there are quite a few people that saying Mr. Hegseth needs to probably be taken out of command and then possibly face consequences. Which, if you're in the military and you would kill you're going to face you're going to face some kind of consequences. If you did this, there's going to be consequences to be faced. However, this administration feels that they can do about anything they want at will. So that covers that. I feel that there needs to be consequences and somebody needs to be handling it now. The next comment I have is why does the President of the United States have to always remind somebody that he aced the cognitive test? Okay? Coming from a stroke victim, who I am, coming from somebody that watched his mother pass away from Alzheimer's, there were plenty of cognitive tests given to me and to my mom. There is no acing cognitive tests. And if you are standing there going, well, yes, he aced it, Chris, because he said, there's no acing a cognitive test. Okay? You draw a picture with a clock. You do the stories. You remember the words. They give you a list of words. You remember what you can. You know, there's no acing. There's no questions to get perfect. There's no acing the test. It is done for a baseline for cognitive ability, because later on it's taken again to see if there's a decline or not. But everybody's bought in to, not everybody, there's a lot of people getting sick and tired of it. And then the whole thing with Sergeant Kelly, well respected, highly respected, highly decorated, NASA, all the above, and yet you're trying to say that he needs to go permanently away. Are you guys all okay with this rhetoric? You're just sitting there, yep, gotta agree. And then with the immigrants and everything else, if you're sitting there saying this is how it's supposed to be. I was talking to a lady last night at one of the restaurants we go to in Madison. Had a lot of running around to do yesterday, so we ended up in Madison. Ended up at one of my favorite restaurants. And she's not Caucasian. And we were just having a conversation. And I asked her about her ethnicity because she's got the darker skin. She's a cute girl. And I just said, hey, and so she's from Laos and she's also American. She goes, well, can I say I'm Laos and white? And I said, well, of course. Because she goes, some people take that differently. She goes, some people think I'm Hawaiian. Some people think I'm Mexican. There's the problem we have, is we want to put everybody into their category. We want to put everybody into their own little pot and say, this is who you are, this is what you are. Nobody says to me, well, you look Swiss. I'm just an American or Caucasian. Why do we have to put them into special realms? Why can't they just be Americans? Caucasians have just, if you're white, you're into this group. We've made it now to where if you're tan, you're in this group. If you're colored, you're in this group. Why are they not just in the big American bubble? Why do we not just have a bubble to mark when we check in at the hospital or everything else? Why do we have to break it down, and especially when we talk to people? Why do we need to know specifics, but then we just take it upon ourselves to guess? It's funny how the shooter in Chicago now that shot the guardsman, everybody's like saying, well, it's from Biden's era, Biden, blah, 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 blah. Take a look at what Trump did with that gentleman, too. See, nobody wants to look at those things. They want to just blame a side, blame a race, blame, and not take responsibility for anything. See, Pete Hegseth's doing the same thing right now. He's not taking responsibility for what is going on, and he's not looking at what the law says needs to happen. They just go about and do their thing. And then you've got a president that looks at a reporter and says, you got to remember, I aced my cognitive test, which I can tell you, you would fail miserably, which you could not do. Oh, it's directed at a lady reporter, basically saying she's dumb, idiotic, stupid for asking tough questions. because we didn't take the box of crayons and plain paper to do an interview with the President of the United States of America. We shouldn't have to be so tiptoe around everything else, and now they're making rules that, well, you can't post this or post this without going through somebody else. Weird. See, I'm not a hater of the Republican Party. I just don't get where people are following along with this mentality. Or is it because we have to name call and do all that to make ourselves feel better? We care less about society in general. So we're going to push them down so we can move ahead of them and feel better. If you are the type of people that have to squish people down to feel better, just not who I need to be around. See, I've walked away from a lot of people, and I'm sure I'll walk away from a lot more, because unless you bring positive aspects, and unless you bring things that support people around you, I don't need to be part of it. I just don't need the energy drain. I don't need the disrespect. And this goes to kids and their parents, to whatever it may be. If you are all about you and you only, I don't need to be around. I don't need to be around you. I don't need to be around that drain. If you don't check in on me, don't expect me to return the favor. I have learned more and more by listening to podcasts and self-help things that no matter how hard you try to help people, there's always going to be those that are just going to keep sucking out life, sucking life, and there's no return, because that's what they need to fulfill themselves with. So start doing me a favor. Take a few of your friends that you consider your friends and really look at them. And if they are there 100% of the time for you, send them a message. Say thank you. Say thank you. Just checking in on you. You check on me all the time. I'm just checking in on you to see how you are doing. See, I don't need the people around, especially those that are on Facebook or anywhere, that say, oh, life's just hard, life's hard. Yeah, life is hard. Life's hard for a lot of people. And we're coming into December now where life is going to be really hard for me, because Christmas was my mom's holiday. And it was really tough because the day after Christmas is her birthday. So the 25th, you celebrate Christmas. The 26th was her birthday. December's going to be a rough one for me this year. But because of the strength of the family I have and the support I have, I will get through it. And I will make sure that I check in on the people that I need to check in on, that have been there for me, and make sure they're okay. Because every day is different. Today I was up at 5 o'clock. For some reason, just woke up. And I couldn't go back, so I got up. My wife's like, what is wrong with you? Go back to bed. Couldn't do it. So I went out, shut the door, took the dogs out with me so she could sleep. Because she hasn't been sleeping well either. Just a lot of things going on. And a lot of people don't know the battles people face every day. So take time to really think about anything you say, anything you do, and take time to see if your actions are appropriate or not for the situation. That's where I'm at today. Enjoy the rest of the day today. It's a misty, foggy, kind of weird day. The trees are all covered down here in white ice, basically. But a lot of snow yesterday. across the strait, anywhere from 6 inches to 13, east to west down by us. But further north of us, with lake effect and everything else, they got a lot more. So it looks like, trails open, I think, December 2nd up north. But there was a lot of down trees and everything. I see a guy named Stretch do a trail report all the time up there. Ton of trees down and everything up north. But take time this holiday season to really be a blessing to someone. Take time to do that. Thank you all for tuning in. I thank you for your time. Thank you for just paying attention to a guy ramble on, I guess. But it's those things that just irritates the shit out of me. So, have a great day. I'll be back tomorrow morning with another edition of The Mop. And we'll talk soon. And as always, take time to bless somebody today.